How's it going, Sha?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. I right before the episode, I started a bit of controversy unintentionally though. I got my day started a little late,
Okay.
and it was almost crunch time to the when we normally record. So I went to the corner store and I yelled through the door. Like I literally just opened the door, yo, can I get bacon, egg, and cheese? And he said, I got you. And there was like a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
So like I yelled it, went back to the computer so I could keep prepping for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, got my bacon, egg, and cheese, went right in front, threw my money down. And like while I'm getting my sandwich, I hear the dude's like, yo, how come this dude get better service than me? You know? Like the dude the dude he's like, that dude's gonna be a star one day, okay? What are you doing? Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, I left them dudes fighting because I had to record the episode. So like I didn't defend myself, I didn't defend the bodega.
Stay
They
above the fray, young man. Let
I
the
thought
hoi polloi fight it out. You just keep floating.
yeah.
That's how stars become stars.
Amen. I felt responsible, but like also I had to be responsible, you
You
know?
have things to do, and
Amen.
they understand it. And those that don't understand it either will when you're a huge star, or they'll just be somewhere seething, going, "That dude cut in line. He wasn't even in the place." I remember that dude. He cut in line, and then you'll be at a press conference, and he'll disguise himself as a member of paparazzi, and then he'll show up, and he's like, "Gastor, over here. One question, Gastor," and you're like, "Yes," because you've had all the media training and everything. So you'll turn around and you'll say yes, and then he'll go, "Yo, man, why'd you get your sandwich before me?" And then all that training is going to melt away, and then you're going to turn into the Gastor that we all know, and it seems like it would cost you roles, but it turns out you actually get more business from it.
Amen. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
yeah. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I see for you, for you yelling.
Oh man, there you go. Shot's got my future outlined well.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
also maybe you might want to tip that that particular bodega guy a little extra since he had to fight for your honor. Well, you came here to talk to me.
Yeah. There's a Henny bottle in his New Year's Eve future.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's deserved after that. That was beautiful, yo. I felt it like there was like I would say like 12, 13 people in that like front area of the store today. It was like pretty like packed for like like at this time of day it's usually quiet because everybody's at work. The
Right.
kids haven't let out, so it's usually just like the locals.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, these Dominican dudes is acting like they into soccer, and
Oh, so they up and watching the World Cup and
yeah,
everything.
they like watching all the soccer shit on this one little TV at the bodega. They treat it like a bar, because like you could
Yes.
buy the beer and like just stay there.
Okay.
So it's like an unofficial bar at like 1 in the afternoon. You
Okay.
know,
All
so they
right.
hang out there. They talk about soccer. They try to learn about soccer. It's beautiful.
Okay. So then are they all just like standing in the way
Yeah,
in
they're like fully
general?
in the way of the business. Like two of them got like milk crates,
Okay.
and like I'm sure they're like buying stuff. Like I saw two other orders in general,
Right.
but like
But I
most
mean,
people they're just hanging out.
how many times can you buy? You can't buy a whole bunch of stuff to
No,
warrant being in the way.
no,
So,
but they like buy like one beer at a time.
right, yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, like it's not, and the place isn't built for that.
no, not at all. No.
So, really, he shouldn't be asking any questions at all. He should have sat there and ate his food, is what he should have done, as they say on the twits. But
Real talk. You
uh,
lucky. You lucky. My dude don't know how to say egress and all of that shit.
right.
You know what I mean? That dude go to one seminar.
Oh wow.
It's over for you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, don't make me have to explain what OSHA is.
Yo, it's over. It's
It's
over.
all of this. This whole block is shut down. Oh,
It's
wow.
been 6 days without incident at this deli, okay? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you know what? If you're gonna make up a bar in a place that's not a bar, there are people who need to treat it as what it was. You
Yeah.
gotta understand you're in the way.
Yo,
You
this
know
is a
what?
makeshift business.
When I work, just thinking about places where I've worked that that occasionally that would happen.
Yeah,
Um, I um I worked at an independent record store, right? And we had like a little TV off to the side, and not any place where people could watch it. Like customers couldn't see what we. It was on our desk
yeah,
facing us, basically, and then next to the cash register. So when you walked in, you just saw the back of a television with stickers on it, and then
right,
we could watch it. But if you wanted to see what was on the TV, you'd come around to the side of the desk and just kind of line up alongside whoever's sitting on the bench behind the register.
right.
And then you can kind of see it, but it's not a big TV. And of course, this is the 90s. So,
Yeah.
most of the TV is the back, the butt, the ass of the TV. That's where most of the TV is. So the
Right.
screen is not necessarily big. I mean, I assume it was in color, but I'm old now, so now everything is black and white. But it was, just a little color TV. And then but if say there was a baseball game, because the owner of the store, Craig, he was a big Giants fan. So he
Yeah,
would watch, baseball. He'd watch Giants, he'd watch Braves. He liked watching that. Or if there's, maybe something musical or whatever, but mostly it was baseball, some sort of
yeah,
sporting thing. Um, and the thing about the owner of this record store is that he was a large man. There was a large bench for us to sit on, and he weighed probably about 500-600 pounds.
jeez.
Yeah, so he was a big guy, and
Okay.
so the bench was his. When he sat there, the bench was his. But he'd have his friends come over, and they want to watch the game with him and talk shit and everything. And then, so they're lined up. They're either next to the bench was a chair for whoever was working with with the owner,
Right.
for the employee who's there with him to sit at that chair. But we would have to give up that chair if one of his friends came in and they sat in that chair. And then there was the rack of records were along the side, same side of the wall. And anyone else who was watching would just crowd out that space, the whole register space, which is where our sound system was. So if someone wanted us to try vinyl to see if it had scratches, we'd have to put on a record player. We'd have to get all those dudes to move out of the way so that we could do business, so that this man could keep his shop running. And so that's fine for most of the people who worked with them, because those were dudes who had started there when they were teenagers, and now
Right.
they've been there like 10, 12 years or something. And those his friends knew them as like these little pipsqueaks who are now just there all the time. And
Yeah.
so they're all just chilling. But if it's me, they're not listening to me because I'm a girl, which is
Right.
wild. And I'm already having that problem with people who are asking about music and they don't believe me. And I'm like, but I work here. We don't even want to go into that. But yeah, so then also people want to be rung up. And so sometimes, the boss man would lean forward and ring things up, blah, 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 blah. But mostly he's looking, then if something happens on the game, he's like, oh, hey, look. And I'm like, they don't care. So now I'm having to step in between these idiots all lined up, excuse me, pardon me, and ringing up these folks with all this going on in the background.
Mm-mm.
I wish somebody would ask why, like, someone came in to pick up a record and someone who's just there to hang out is like, hey, why are you all in my way? No, why are you in my way? I'm getting paid to be here. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm doing all the work. Get out of here. What are you
Seriously.
doing? Get out of here.
I've gotten used to these environments. I agree. I've worked in them. I
Mhm.
like these spaces, but yeah, they can be a little much when the crowd forms. I
Mhm.
my dad, when he had the laundromat when I was in high school, that was a big one for that. Because you
Mm.
already got the chairs.
Yes.
Like there was, you have to sit there for 2-3 hours, so you got to put some chairs in.
Right.
So like you'd have people just come in and just sit, and like you can't be super rude because they, while it might not be their laundry day today, they do laundry.
Yes. Right.
So like, yeah, just if they gonna kick it today, they kick it. And we had and admittedly, like I had the most incentive because my dad's laundromat was my first business. My dad owned a laundromat, but
Mhm.
he let me run the vending machine. So
Okay.
like I was incentivized to have people sit and watch games on my dad's TV because
Right.
they'd buy my drinks.
Mhm.
So like, I'm like, hell yeah, come in, watch the fucking game. I'll make another $50 this week with
Right.
selling waters and Snapples and shit. So I was with it, but I know my dad would get heated, like, yo, like, you got TVs at home, be like,
Yeah,
no,
you can't just be here.
kid is be here just kicking it. People trying to watch clothes, especially like when it would happen like and when NBA was on NBC on Sundays,
Mhm.
like he's like, yo, like Sunday is like people's 1 of 2 days off. Like they here
Yes.
for laundry.
This
Like
is
this
a
place is
busy
packed.
Sunday is the busiest day.
Yeah, he's like, this place is packed already with people doing laundry, and y'all trying to watch the game. And like people will call my dad, like, yo, you turn it up? Like, no. Call me when you want to like buy the Tide or some shit. Don't bother me at the counter for this.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about the camaraderie that's possible in retail settings, and there is also something, I think that where that's going away a lot, which is just space to be as a
Yeah,
person. So, like, especially in, like, parks or things, we're losing benches or
yeah.
they're making places like what do they call it? It's not militarized like furniture, but like they're making things uncomfortable so that no one can sit there or perch there or hang out in places. We're running out of spaces to hang out without buying anything.
Right, right.
And so that's a thing for sure. And we need more spots like that, but it's hard when you work there. Sometimes
Yeah,
when
it's
you know
it's
what I mean? It's hard like at any retail place that is big enough for because I've worked at like a Barnes and Noble as well in the music
right.
section, and we had like a whole system of headphones where you could listen to music, 5 seconds of or no, like 30 seconds of a song, every song on an album or something like that, and you can just go through them. And we had
Yeah.
lots of people who just came back there and just listened to stuff and didn't buy anything, and they weren't
They weren't doing
necessarily
anything wrong either.
disruptive. Yeah, they're not doing
Yeah.
anything. They're hanging out just like other people in the big old chairs that they have in bookstores just reading or stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it's when they are blocking it for the reason that the
The
place is
business
there,
exists. Yeah.
like and so now I'm having to be a barkeep and you know what I mean? And also answer this person's question about why we don't have 20 copies of the Notebook because she wants to give one to every girlfriend, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm having to do a lot extra things, and it's just like, "Oh, boy."
Straight
Um,
up. Yeah, I
but
became
I
a man on that job, yo.
Oh, yeah? How?
Real talk. The more I think about it, because like it's the first time I realized that like there's like weird people. Like
Mm.
it was the so like my dad opened the laundromat when I was like 13, 14,
Mhm,
and he wanted me to help.
mhm,
Like, and he didn't need my help. It was like, I want you to start doing man shit. I want you to be involved with businesses that I'm involved in. Give me experience. And I appreciate it, looking back on it. At the time, I thought it was like, yeah, I'm not playing games. It's annoying. But I realized now it was the first time that like I was having conversations with people that he or my mom didn't filter. Like it
mm,
wasn't like a person they picked. Like it wasn't a family member. It wasn't like people from my class. You know what I'm saying? Like any
mhm.
random customer could walk into the store,
Right.
So like you had like weird I had really weird interactions while I was there. I
Okay.
def know I def remember talking to somebody about what was the appropriate dating ages for someone that was an adult. And it was the first time I was like, oh, like that's not cool.
I mean, you gotta learn that somewhere,
And you
right?
got to learn that. Like, the dude was like 28, and he was like, I'm talking to this girl. She's like 17.
Mm.
And he's like, that's cool, right? And I'm 14. And I'm like, I don't feel like that's cool, you know? And like, there's so many things about it that I was trying to juggle. Like, because it was the first time the question had ever been broached to me.
Mhm.
So in my head, I was literally deciding, no, that's not cool.
Right.
Then I had to deal with the idea of, if that happened to me, how would I think about it? And
Yeah.
then I had to think about, how do I answer
Yes.
and still be like okay in this environment?
Right.
So all of those are discussions that like happened to me for the first time. Like things like that kept coming up,
Mhm.
like or like I know like I found the drug dealer's money once in the machine.
Wait, did he put it there for someone else to get?
No,
Or
no,
does that
he
only
lost it
happen?
in the machine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then like I had to juggle a weird combo because like his mom was washing clothes the
Ah,
next day there, and
right,
he showed up to like pick up what he had lost.
right.
And I knew as soon as I found it in the morning while like cleaning the machines.
Mhm.
So I told my dad's like, put it aside. Nobody comes for it within a month. We'll figure something out from there. But
Right,
like, he's like, it's too much money. Someone's gonna come back for this.
right.
So I put it on the side. I'm hyped to say I've never touched this kind of money before, and the dude shows up, and like, mind you, like he's in my head now. Now I know he was a kid. He's like
Mhm,
17, but
mhm.
like that's old enough at that age that like I looked up to this dude as a grown up,
Right.
and I
And
was having,
he's making money.
yeah, he's making money,
Yeah.
and like I had trouble understanding why he was so mad that I wasn't whispering because his mom was here. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got that for you. It's up front, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Oh,
hyped as hell,
wow.
like thinking, yo, this dude's gonna be happy. I found his thousands.
Right.
And he's like, yo, like, what you doing, man? And he like, and like we talk, and like the next day he like laughs, but he at least came over and like talked to me about it like the
Right.
next day. But like conversations like that,
Mhm.
like I always find like they're like those are developmental because you're juggling so many layers
Right.
of like what's happening. And that was the first job, the first place where like that happened to me. Like I remember having like complex conversations
Mhm.
at this laundromat, and I
Yeah.
associate a lot of them with that, like with the fake bar scene that would form in the front,
Yes.
because like we would get like a whole bunch of dudes that be hanging out watching a game, and like wives would come in and check on their husbands,
Mhm.
and then the wives would leave. They would
And
talk shit about the wives, and the next
right.
day the wives would come and do laundry, and they would talk shit about the husband. They would
Yes.
ask me questions. What were they doing here yesterday? And like I gotta like layer the answer with
Right.
like enough truth that they're okay,
Mhm.
with enough like not truth that I didn't snitch. And I
Right.
didn't realize like that this was part of growing up.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how long was he here for? He was like, and so I gotta say shit like I learned that he was here for a while was like a good answer.
Mhm.
Where like he was long enough here that she could complain, but not
Right.
long enough here that she could stick him to a time frame.
Right.
So I'd be like, yeah, he was here for a while. And then she would go to her homegirl, be like, see, this is the bullshit. You're supposed to be doing this, and this. And then they
That's
would,
really funny.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you definitely, uh, when you are somewhat invisible in a space,
yeah,
you definitely have to learn how to you're invisible, but you're also a source. Because that would happen to me at the record store as well. It's because these dudes are not paying attention. I am listening to them speak, and
freely,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay, this is how this goes. This is what that kind of person this is what they think. This is how they feel. This is
Mm-hmm.
what happens." And And so you're like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna keep filing away. And I'm just putting up CDs, listening to them talk, and yeah, so that is kind of wild.
Yeah. All that's
Yeah.
to say is that like I'm glad I got my sandwich. But if there's like a 13, 14-year-old over there that I didn't notice today, I hope you learned something.
Yeah.
I hope you're still learning, and I'm gonna try
It's
to
a
keep my eye
bodega.
out
There
for you.
was definitely a 12-year-old over there.
Straight up. Somebody's in there.
So there's always a kid in there. I don't care what time of day or night it is. There's a
Yo,
child in there learning something.
there was a 16-year-old that worked at the bodega with the previous ownership group that was my tenant. He was like, for a hot minute, that dude was in high school. And he made the best sandwiches. That dude was great. Straight up. Kid's cool. 19 years old now. He works in construction.
Good for him.
Straight up. He came up. That was my homie. Little dude. I was hyped as hell, yo. I helped him out, get some paperwork in order. He got his green card and he applied for citizenship last year. I'm real happy for him. He's like done
That's
the whole
good.
come up. Straight
That's
up.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, yo. It happens, baby. American dream, you know what I mean? Starts at the corner store. Yeah, I might have gone too far there, but you know what I'm saying?
No, that's actually pretty right. That's
Yeah.
actually very correct.
Let's get into the news. Ava Duvernay becomes the first Black woman featured.
Duvernay.
Duvernay, pardon me, becomes the first Black woman featured on the Ben and Jerry's pint. Duvernay's lights caramel action. I love that. Ice cream flavor will begin shipping across the country January 2023. This is dope. Ava has become the first Black woman to have her image on a Ben and Jerry's pint. The ubiquitous ice cream company on Tuesday announced the release of Lights Caramel Action, directed by Ava Duvernay, which will feature a mixture of vanilla ice cream with salted caramel swirls, graham cracker swirls, and gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough. Duvernay
Mhm.
personally curated the flavor creation, which will be available in both milk-based and non-dairy versions. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Pints will begin shipping across the country January of 2023. Ice cream is a simple joy of life, a comfort food that I've turned to on many days, making sunny ones brighter and dark ones sweeter. Partnering with Ben& Jerry's, a company that I've long admired for their commitment to social justice, has been a thrill ride. Gang, gang. I'm
Okay.
happy for this.
All right, this is lovely, and always happy for Ava. I think she is my tether in that I am definitely the one in the red jumpsuit
Okay.
who got left behind. She We are the same age. She started making movies later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a decent head of dreads.
Yeah.
But then after that, I guess we both have good eyebrows. But then after that, I think it really takes a turn. But here is my only complaint. I'm glad that she's getting to do this, and I'm glad that she has milk-based and non-dairy.
Yeah, I thought that was
We love
strong.
someone who respects the power of lactose or
Yo.
lack thereof. Here's my problem.
Okay.
Vanilla ice cream, wonderful. Salted caramel swirls, yes, please.
Mhm.
Graham cracker swirls, more, more, more. Gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough.
That's what you.
We
That's what.
were building something so nice there, and then chocolate chip has to come in and fuck it all up.
You not a chocolate chip fan?
Look, I have no problem with chocolate chip it where it falls, but I feel like we are using it in a lot of things
Mm.
at times when we don't need to. I feel like there's a lot of times where people are like, I don't know, throw some chocolate chips in there, and I'm like, we don't need that. And with cookie dough, this doesn't even
Yeah, the
this
cookie dough I thought was much.
like it's too much. I don't want it. Even if it was just chocolate chips, I'd be like, that's unnecessary. But I could deal with it better because then it gives you a little more of like a caramel s'mores kind of feel. But
Yeah,
cookie dough means there's like a chunk of a thing that
the
doesn't
ice cream.
blend with the other stuff.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's just, and also the word gobs, which, ugh, no. So that's my only issue, Ava. That's your only misstep, really. Is the gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough. Which reminds me, I want to make chocolate chip cookies from scratch without the chocolate chips. I've been reading about this online, that people say their favorite cookie is a chocolate chip cookie, but without the chocolate chips. So they just want the cookie. But there's no real name for that because it's not like a sugar cookie.
Huh.
Because,
What would it
sugar
taste
cookie,
like?
it would taste like a chocolate chip cookie without the chocolate chips. It would just taste like sweet cookie. Sweet, sweet cookie. That's what it would taste
Yo,
like.
real talk, you sound like a supervillain saying that shit. That sweet
Sweet,
nectar.
sweet. Because it's all the stuff that you need for a cookie, right?
Yeah.
Flour, I guess, sugar, maybe a little bit of salt, butter, whatever it is that you put in the dough to make cookie dough.
Yeah.
And then you add chocolate chip cookies. This time you don't add, or you add the chocolate chips. This time don't add the chocolate chips. You already
Huh.
got all the sweet stuff.
I'd
And
be
then you just,
curious. You
I'm
know
gonna
why?
make some.
The thing that I'm curious about with this cookie idea
Mm-hmm.
is if it's like muffin tops without the muffin, in that you still have to make the muffin to make it great. Like, do you have to make the cookie with the chocolate chip and then take the chip out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just, there have been a lot of times that I've had chocolate chip cookies and I eat around the chocolate. I'm
Right,
not,
I think the hint of chocolate is part of it.
nah, I don't think so. I think sometimes it's a bit much, depending on the chip. I think you'd be surprised because it's the basis of all cookies,
Yeah.
right? It's all, I mean, before you add whatever you're going to add, peanut butter, cinnamon to make it a snickerdoodle, or chocolate chips or caramel or whatever else, you're a Reese's cup, whatever you're going to do, you've got to make this concoction, which has all of the stuff already. And
Done
then the
deal.
other
This is
stuff is
happening.
like, yeah. So I'm
This
going
week
to
I'm
look
making
this
these
up.
cookies.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up because I saw a recipe for it and I saw someone talking and they're like, hear me out. I know this sounds crazy, but this might be my favorite cookie. Is a chocolate chip cookie without the chocolate chips.
Chips.
So
Cookies. I
I
just
think,
text that to Gab. Oh, yeah, by me making it, Gabby's making it.
yes, no, I think we
Okay.
all assume that.
Yeah. I want to be clear. Yeah. I don't want to
Yeah.
like falsely take that credit.
Yeah, no, no. You will take for the idea of texting it to Gabby. Yes, you
Exactly.
will take credit for that for
I'm an
sure.
ideas man,
Yeah,
and even that
big
isn't mine this
picture.
time.
Yes, you're much more big picture.
Yeah, but that's happening this week. We gonna make that
Yeah,
happen. We gonna get some
yeah,
chocolate chip cookies and then some non-chocolate chip cookies
yeah.
and
Uh,
see how they hold up. I
Right.
think they'll
Yes,
do well.
I think so too.
But
Um.
I really am curious. I want to do all three. I want to do
Mm,
the non-chocolate chip,
mhm,
the chocolate chip, and then I want to
mhm.
do chocolate chip with the chips removed. I
Well,
think they'll
how do
be
you
the
do that?
I think they'll be messy, admittedly, but I think that's what I think they'll taste great.
So you mean you'll bake them, and then as they're still hot, you dig out the
Take the
chocolate chip?
chocolate chip. Cause I really feel like it's like a muffin top without the muffin. Like if you make the muffin tops alone, they don't taste good. You got to make the whole muffin and then only sell the muffin top. And
Yeah,
they
see, I that I guess, but I don't know. I feel like a muffin top is fine.
on its
But then again,
own, like
yeah,
when they make muffin tops without the muffin, it tastes the
I
same.
I mean, I guess so.
Wow,
Yeah, it's the same stuff. You need the whole thing.
the whole thing.
You need
Yeah,
the feeling of the feeling that you get when you only eat the top. You need to
yeah,
have that feeling is what you're tasting
exactly.
instead of just the ingredients.
Yeah,
So you need the emotional component.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
no, I just need no chips. That's all I need. No chips.
like
Yeah.
like when you order from like a pizza place,
Mhm.
garlic knots is different, but like I feel like crust versus breadsticks are very different.
Yes, because they're prepared in different ways.
Yeah,
That to me is why. And I get crust is because it was part of the pizza, so it's got the
yeah,
essence of pizza on the edges of it. Yes.
yeah,
Whereas a breadstick is, prepared like here's this is it, and then we put the stuff on it. And I feel like those are like a little bit different, and also because they're kind of cooked a little bit differently. But I
Okay.
mean, if you got enough garlic butter, I'm gonna eat it all. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
honestly, no, if you bring me just a regular loaf of bread and garlic butter, I just let me go. Check on me in like an hour.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm
I mean,
still sitting up.
yeah, just come check on us with some insulin shots, just in
Yeah,
case.
absolutely.
We
Yes,
talking a lot of carbs right now
we
so far.
really are. We really are. Someone please bring us a salad, please.
But shouts to Ava, keep it pumping.
Yeah.
This should be a winner overall, but maybe remix it with just the chocolate chip, or
I mean, I'm going to try it. I'll try it because if it's gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough, maybe I can eat around it
yeah,
and just scoop those big parts out.
no. And
Yeah.
Ava, lean into it. Just because we don't like it, you like it. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you.
I mean, yeah, don't pay attention to us. I mean, if you paid
Yeah.
attention to us, then we both would be two 50-year-old women who are maybe close to their potential, but not. Whereas you have definitely are surpassing. And I'm just like, I think my potential's around here somewhere.
we,
So,
we getting you a flavor Ben and Jerry's suit shot, okay?
yeah.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. It's coming soon, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, there's a dog in Texas that can talk. That's right. Flambeau, a talking dog from Texas,
Okay.
is taking the world by storm on TikTok. 4.5-year-old Australian Shepherd goes viral almost every day by showing off his skills, which include communicating his needs, predicting the weather, and showing love for his owner, all with the push of a button. Ava Adams, who's been Flambeau's owner for over 2 years now after adopting him in Wimberley, Adams said she first came up with the idea of push buttons to communicate after watching videos of speech pathologists during the COVID-19. When COVID hit during the lockdown, Flambeau and I were both extremely bored. So, in my attempt to try to keep us both sane, we were learning a new trick every day. That's when I found Christina Hunger, a famous speech pathologist, and she slowly developed this method with her dog, Stella. The method is very similar to those used for nonverbal students of hers. And basically, Flambeau has learned 65 words so far, which range from play, ball, sleep, and stranger. And so he has a whole bunch of play buttons laid out on the floor, and he's
Okay,
able
then
to.
this dog don't talk. What is this shit? This ain't even a first dog I've ever. Here's what it is. Here's what Flambeau has. A TikTok account and good marketing. That's all Flambeau has that no other dog has. Already, she already named another dog Stella. Who does this? That she learned it from. Because I was like, oh wow, does the dog like or it's gonna rain or whatever. But no, the dog doesn't talk. Because I've already seen clips of dogs pushing buttons like food now or where are you? Or
Yo,
are you my mommy or whatever the fuck. So I've already seen that.
Shaw's over this, okay? All right. The bar on TikTok is too high, okay?
I
Oh,
mean,
so your
that's
dog can
all it
make
is.
full sentences with buttons? So what? Okay. I don't care.
It's just marketing. You got a good PR, person. The person who feeds you also knows how to work TikTok.
Let
That's
the
all it
video
is.
run 24 hours a day. Let us see when he touches buttons that don't make sense, okay? You're only showing us the highlights when he touches buttons in an order that makes a sentence. Okay? I'm sure he
Um,
presses on the other buttons and says incoherent things.
okay, so here's the thing. Flambeau presses the button later, water, and storm to tell Adams it's going to rain. Do you mean rain? And then Flambeau presses the rain button. No water storm later, I don't think, Adams says, but then posts a screenshot of the Houston weather forecast to show that it was indeed going to rain tomorrow. Let me tell you something. I had a dog named Gertie, RIP, best dog in the world. Not a fan of rainstorms, not a
Okay.
fan of thunder, lightning, rain, loud trucks that hit a pothole, didn't like sudden loud noises. Would get kind of scared, and if there was a storm, would try to hide in places like under the bed or in my hamper or like various in the closet in the bathroom in the tub, things like that.
Okay.
But she would also just start shaking when she sensed that a storm was coming. So
Mm.
every once in a while I'd be chilling and then she would just start shaking and I'm like, "What is going on? Are you okay?" And then sure enough, at least 20 minutes later, a storm hits.
Oh.
I ain't had to put no buttons on nothing. I ain't have to train this dog how to do. Just read. Your dog can talk to you already. We ain't got to do all of this.
If this is the standard for talking, then yeah, the dog been talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, first off, the dog went through water, storm, and later, and then she said rain, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and then went over to rain. Dog ain't that smart. Dog should have hit rain immediately.
There's only 65 words on the floor. Okay?
I know. That's a lot.
Stupid dog. You know what I mean?
So yeah, Gertie would tell me that it was going to rain by hiding under me. Like she would try to burrow under me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a storm a brewing," and yes, a storm was a brewing.
Step your game up, Flambeau. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what you can tell me without all those buttons on the floor.
Come on, B.
Yeah,
it's been done before. Okay.
I don't have time to figure out what you're saying if you're saying someone is breaking into the house. If it's just like stranger rock window broken. What? Guess what? I've been stabbed already. Bark, goddammit, bark.
You know what I mean? All you're doing is impressing the dude that murdered me, okay?
Yeah.
You know what
wow.
I mean? Wow. That dog is awesome.
That dog is hitting the buttons 911 instead of calling 911. All that said, Flambeau, you're a good boy. You're a good boy, Flambeau.
You're trying.
You're doing your best for this lady, but you're okay. You're all the dog you need to be.
If you would like, okay, to send your pet to Shalewa's Communication School for Pets. All you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show, baby.
I'm gonna teach your dog how to read. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Your dog is gonna read you to filth. That's what's gonna happen.
If you are Apple and Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars, okay? You don't believe in Shalewa's system, your dog's gonna be reading books. Sure, they won't tell you what the book was about, but they're getting smarter, okay? 5 stars, your dog is gonna have a blog where it puts up summaries, okay, of all the books that Shalewa taught him to read. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to buy Cliff Notes from a dog. It's gonna be awesome. If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. With all that said, I am future happy smart pet owner Gastor Almonte. With the queen of pet dog readership.
Absolutely.
Literacy. Shalewa Sharpe.
Absolutely. All those trainers on TV, what, the dog whisperer or whatever, and the British lady who trains dogs with a bag of chicken.
Nothing.
And the cat daddy who is not what you think. It is not an older black man hollering at you. It is an older white man who's adopted a lot of animals.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I thought it was somebody telling me to jump, but
no, it's a different thing. It turns out a cat daddy can be many things.
Oh, okay. I thought it was I'm thinking Mac Daddy. I got you.
Yeah. You see, there's a lot of confusion. So I will clear all that up for you and your pets.
This has been a pet literacy advocacy episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.